I'd like to call to order the meeting of the the meeting of emergency meeting of the Board of Education. Danielle, can I get a roll call, please?
President Rios. She's present.
Here, be a phone.
Vice President Mendoza.
Present.
Board Clerk Yu.
Present.
Board Member Apodaca.
Here.
Board Member La.
Here.
Board Member Nishi. Here. Board Member Say.
Thank you, Danielle. Can we do the Pledge of Allegiance? Board Member Law, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Place your right hand over your heart. Please follow me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Board Member Law. The reason we're having this emergency meeting of the board is to really address the concern regarding the coronavirus. And I want to thank our board members for being here on such short notice, and also to our staff for putting this together. At this time, I'd really like to make a motion to give the superintendent authority to dismiss or to close our schools, if I can have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Dr. Sue?
Thank you so much, Vice President Mendoza. I know that this is a very challenging time for all school districts in California. And I know that earlier this morning, I received notice that the LA County Office of Education is recommending that all schools in Los Angeles County be either dismissed or closed. And so the authority for me to make those decisions is very important at this time. And so one of the things that some people may not know the difference between a dismissal or a closure is that a school dismissal allows students, of course, to not come to school, but our staff members are going to be still in our schools. And it's important because I know that there are many things that will still need to go on, especially with staff members being available. For example, one of the many things that we will be able to do if there are any school dismissals or closures is that we still have to provide meals for students. That's very important for all of us because for many students it may be the only warm meal that they have throughout the day. And so we have to have members of our staff being here to be able to disseminate the meals for our students. And so the difference again is if there's a school closure, no staff members are here. So I do relish the authority to be able to make that decision on the best, on what's best for our entire district at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Sue. We do have a board discussion, and it's going to begin with Board Member Apodaca.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. I want to commend our leadership today for calling this meeting, as well as emphasizing the difference between a closure and a dismissal. I think the public should know that, especially those families that we have throughout our district who are reliant on those meals. In some cases, it really is the only meal that they have. So I want to say, thank you, and I commend you for putting this together so quickly, and especially thank you to staff. I imagine this kind of throws a wrench in your day, but we have to obviously put the safety and well-being of our students first. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Board Member Say.
I remember the City Hawaiian Garden in the past, they had some kind of meal provide for the children's. I remember summertime, especially summer, they have a special. Can we work with the city on that matter? The city used to provide the lunch or breakfast sometime during the summertime, provide those students who needs it when the school's off.
51% of our students in ABC Unified School District are considered to be low-income students. Many of them are receiving the free and or reduced lunch. It goes beyond Hawaiian Gardens.
Okay. There's another thing I also have a question about. I do know a lot of districts, they also have some programs still running there to some of their students in a low socioeconomic area. They do, or they do have some programs for them only, but under very, very close watch out to prevent this corona spread. Some school does it. They have a special program, because we know some parents in here have a city issue. They have to work, and the meals issue. So some districts are running a program only for those special needs.
Well, one of the things that, if we have our staff members still able to be with us, is we want to use, for example, if it's going to begin on Monday all the way through March the 27th for the next 2 weeks, we would like our team to be able to really clean and sanitize our classrooms. That's one of the reasons why we would love to have our staff here still.
That's another thing I'm considering right now is your supply. Do you have enough supply?
We have some, many are available at this time, but we are on order for many of those other additional supplies as well.
I know the hand gel, they were running out. Torrent, have your purchase department have done it yet?
We have ample cleaning supply. We just do not have hand sanitizer. But for purpose of deep cleaning our schools, we have ample supply.
I really want to say something to the staff. You folks are working very, very hard. It's not easy, bump on both sides. Some parents say closing, and the other parents say, what am I going to do? I have a job, and I have babysitting issue. And then as a staff and as us in here, there's a rules and regulation that we need to follow. We can't just close right away. There's so many things. I mean, we're pulling by all angle, and I want people who are watching here, I don't know whether televising or not.
Yes, we are.
I do want you to understand, the school's not holding it. We know how dangerous it is. We are afraid. You know, we are. I see staff and stay here, and I know Dr. Su's been meeting with the cabinet all the time, even yesterday with the principal. And, you know, I really want to also thank the staff and union people here to help us. It's not easy when you say closing down. It's all things involved. Where the money coming from, where the money goes to. And the parents upset want to close, but we have to think about, I absolutely understand the life is here is danger to all of us, not just only the student, but people here too. So I want to really want to thank you, staff working very hard, the union and teacher and other, asked me you guys are put so much in here and nobody understand. I want to say thank you. It's not going to be easy. This is a lesson learned. And we learned something, you know, online education. Nobody noticed how important it is, but I want to thank you. And thank you, lady, make a call, and I was behind it. I'm here, the auditor here, checking around the school, and I think our board had did the best we can and called this meeting. I want to thank you again. Thank you.
Next, we have Board Member Yu.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. I want to thank our fellow board members to get on board, coming together as one, and our staff, our Dr. Su, and principals, just coming together as a team to deal with this pandemic issue, national pandemic issue. I think that we want the public to know that we will do our best to assure the safety of our students. And Dr. Su just answered one of my questions about disinfecting all the schools and the classrooms. We will do all that. I have one question. When we say dismissal, does that mean the staffs will continue working, and how about the teachers? Will they
Yes,
still be working?
that's correct.
Okay, so then the students will be dismissed, but for the students and the families that feel safe to keep the kids at home, and they have online access such as computers or laptops, they have choice to stay home because they're dismissed. But for the students, how about the students who doesn't have parents who's at home because they have to work to make a living? How about the students who doesn't have the tablets or computer access?
Well, that's two different questions. We would provide whatever technological needs they might have through our IT department, as well as hotspots for internet access. The second question related to childcare, again, this is the challenge. I know that this is going to be the biggest challenge that we will be facing for families who don't have childcare. So we're looking at all of the options that we have available, but we will not be able to have students on our campus during the 2 weeks that we are recommending.
To disinfect the schools and
Yes,
so forth, right?
yes.
Thank you. That's very assuring to know, and I think the public will be very assured to know that our district will be conducting disinfecting all the schools, classrooms, and all the public areas. Thank you very much, Dr. Su.
Thank you.
Board Member Nishi?
Yes, thank you, Madam Vice President. First, I'd like to thank Dr. Rios for calling this meeting on a special emergency basis and trying to get ahead of this particular thing. Dr. Su also, and all the staff that's here taking time, that probably needs to be working on the emergency plans, and they're taking time to be here. I'm hoping that we can also have this audience to maybe spread out a little bit, just as an example of, do as we say. So if you'd like to step aside and keep at least a few feet distance, that would be nice. And I'm very glad that we're getting regular daily updates from the superintendent regarding these issues, and that these daily updates are going to be issued to the community through our communications officer, who is here right back there, Mr. Scott Smith, and I'm going to be very thankful to receive that, because we need to dispel these rumors. Just because we don't say something doesn't mean we're not doing something. Just because we don't say everything doesn't mean there's some nefarious cabal in the background. We are doing everything we can, working hard, but the first thing to do is work hard and keep our students safe. Then we need to let people, but it's both parts. So I'm so glad that we have the communications officer here to provide us the daily and, if necessarily, hourly updates, because we know this situation has been evolving over time. We're not just relying on LACO, which is an important entity, but we're relying upon our own data, that we're sending out information to our students to find out what is the technical abilities for us to educate, because there's this, and there's also things beyond here and today. This is something that we will have to deal with today, but there's the future, and we don't want to have situations where we create more problems by going off half-cocked. The purpose of this meeting is to reassure the community that we're not doing something. We are trying to make a regular, determined plan. So I really commend Superintendent, the President, the Vice President here, and all of the members of this community for not panicking, for waiting for real information, not just Facebook, not just social media, but real information. We are here because of you. We all have specific stakes. Maynard has grandkids, I have children, Sue has children, the President has children. All of us have a specific stake, and we all want the best for everything, and panicking doesn't help. So I'm grateful to the community for not doing that, and I'm grateful for everything else. And I know that I trust the superintendent to do the best for our community. This is a great opportunity for me to express publicly my thanks to the superintendent for informing us, for informing the public, and ensuring safety in this time of difficulty. Thank you.
Board Member Law?
Thank you. One quick question. We're looking at 2 weeks. Is that correct?
Yes.
At what point would we make a decision to continue that 2 weeks, if we needed to do that?
We are going to assess during the 2 weeks how things are going on in the state as well as in our county. I know that shortly after that, we also have another week and a half before our spring break, and so we will certainly implement our spring break during our calendar year.
Thank you. I echoed the words of Ernie and all the rest of us, that we really are in a situation that's not something that we can control, but we can control what we're doing here in our district, and I think under the leadership that we have with Dr. Sue, we're on top of it. We're focused on what we need to do and going to do those things. I went shopping to the market this morning. Don't do that. There's nothing there, so it doesn't make any difference. I don't know what people think is going to happen here, but don't buy toilet paper. Well, you can't, because there isn't any. Anyway, we're in this together, all of us, all the staff, everybody, and we're going to do the best we can, I'm sure. And above and beyond, we're all, well, some of us were around here with some other things that happened a long time ago. And I trust all of our staff. And they wouldn't be working for ABC if we couldn't trust everybody and count on everyone to do whatever they need to do to bring this district to where it is. Thank you.
Board Member Say?
There are two things that I have just came out of my mind. The two things, one is education. How do we carry on the education to the kids once we relieve them to go home? I know I know the IT department I spoke 2 days ago, folks are busy working on online education. It wasn't that easy because I myself teach online. So do we have something in place during this 2 weeks, or how do we handle that?
We're preparing for it right now. We're preparing for it as
Okay.
we're speaking.
Okay. Now, the second issue is, once well, plan is today's the last day on Friday, right? Starting Monday, no.
That's
No.
correct.
But one of the things I have a concern right now is how do we make sure the information that we have on our record, on each student's record in our school is accurate?
Well, we will be informing everybody following this board meeting today and communicating what our intentions are for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, even like contact information, cell phone
Yes.
number, home phone number, some of them may be outdated already there, and which they didn't update with us, and we'll lose those children. So that's one thing that we do need to watch carefully when we release the children home today. Make sure we get the data updated right away. Don't lose that, because otherwise they will be behind. Because we want to, this is a disaster, and we still want to carry our education continue to go on. So,
Thank you.
Board Clerks, you?
Thank you. Just one, I know that you sent out the letter to the entire district, and we don't have any case of coronavirus in
No,
the
we
district.
don't. We do not.
No. And that letter has been sent out today? Correct?
It was sent out yesterday.
Yesterday. So everybody received that letter. And how about information on coronavirus on our website?
We have plenty of information on that on our website. Just to also remind everybody, in the past, I've always said that the Department of Public Health makes the decision for school closure in any school district. But this is an educational decision that was made by LACO Superintendent Dr. Deborah Eduardo, and I know she's going to make an announcement in another hour and a half as well about all schools closing in Los Angeles County. And so just to let you know that this is an educational decision as well as a health decision.
And can we, on our website, also put information where, for example, parents or community members suspect someone has symptom? Is there health clinics or hospital information that they can access?
We can certainly add something to that, to our website.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
also, I just wanted to also bring up that there was one student who came from New York, MUN, in conference, and they came on the weekend and had a flu symptom. But he was tested with strep throat. And I confirmed that with Patrick Walker for the community to know. And I think it was because of that one case which many people panicked. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, colleagues. I just want to echo my colleagues, and this is a very difficult time, not just for our district, but for all districts. And it's not an easy decision to do what we need to do. I think it's a time for our community to come together, for us to work with our cities and access all the resources that we can for our families, because it's going to be hard for them. 51% of our students low income. That's going to be a hardship on our families. And so we need to do everything that we can do as district, as a community, to work together with them. I think we're going to give the authorization to the superintendent to do everything and everything she can do to make sure our families have all the information that they need, whether it be in the website, whether it be social media. I'm well aware that as board members, we've been getting emails and text messages and phone calls. And like Ernie said, it's not that we don't want to say anything. We don't want to say the wrong information to our families. We want to make sure we're giving accurate and correct information. And with the situation, it changes by the hour, by the day, and we want to make sure we keep our community up to date. I want to see if our board president has any comments.
Say it again.
Any comments, President Rios?
No comments. Thank you all.
So I do think we have public comments.
Yes, we do have public comments. I have one more question.
Okay.
Yeah, Sophie's first.
Sophia.
Last question, since I'm the medical field, since this is isolation infection issue there, do you have anybody can help us on the special, like infection control from the medical, come back and help us too? Because we do have some, yeah.
Well, we work very closely with the Department of Public Health,
Beautiful.
as well as the Department of, at Los Angeles County Office of Education as well.
I just want to publicly hear that we do work with the people. Thanks.
I have one more question. For students keeping up with academics, because this is a very important time. This is March, April, and May is the AP test, and God knows, we don't know the future if even AP test will be canceled, because SAT test for this Saturday has been canceled. But since the teachers are going to be still working, will students who are dismissed, can they still contact the teachers through email, keep up with their studies, and so forth?
We're
Would
going
it
to
make
be
them available?
exploring all of those issues following this board meeting.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Dr. Su, I have a quick question. When we say dismiss, does that mean that we are actually asking our teachers to come back to the schools, or just the necessary staff?
No, we're going to ask all employees to be able to come to the schools.
Every day?
Yes.
Thank you.
So we have public comments?
Yes, we have two public comments. First public comment is Ray Gear.
If we could separate, that'd be nice.
Good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to thank the school board, the superintendent, the administrative cabinet for being thoughtful and having this meeting, this important meeting, and making the time to be here. Thank you, Dr. Rios, for calling this meeting. So, again, I think it's really important that we have meals for our students, and I'm glad that there's been conversations about that. And just this didn't happen out of the blue. I know that Dr. Su and I and the board have been talking about what's been going on for a long time, last month, about the possibilities of things that were happening, because we saw what was happening in other countries. And so we've been working, the teachers and the ASME and CSEA have been working with the district to find out who has technology, who doesn't have technology, who has access to online resources, who can get online at their houses. So we were being proactive as a district to make sure that we had enough digital support, and that we're looking for access for every student and every family. And so I want to congratulate us for being proactive. We didn't know the timeline was going to be this quick, but we pushed it, and I'm glad we did. Yes. I'd also like to thank the district for, there was a concern about soap for students, and the district within a day turned around and made sure there was soap in every single bathroom in every school. And so I want to thank them also for taking care of that. We are listening to our students talk to our teachers, the teachers talk to us. And sometimes we just relay the information, and so I appreciate the district for listening. Just want to make sure that you take into account, I know you're asking to have all the staff here. We do have, there are going to be extenuating circumstances, such as people that are in self-isolation because they're associated with somebody who might have it or is in self-isolation. We also have a lot of employees that have contacted me who have health concerns and underlying conditions. And so I hope that we can work out how to work with those individuals, as I think we're going to be discussing after this board meeting. This is really about saving lives, everybody. This is about slowing down the spread of this disease. It's not that our children in our schools, our students in our schools, they're asymptomatic. And less than 3% of them will have symptoms. but it is important to stop the spread of this so that we can flatten out the curve and not overrun our hospitals. That is the whole reason why we're doing this. It's not about money, and this should never be about money. The state of California has a over $20 billion reserve for such a circumstance. We have a pretty hearty reserve here, the biggest one we've had for many, many years, probably 20 years. We are prepared for this kind of situation, and we know that there will be national and state funding that will help with this situation. Money should not be an issue. You know, the federal government released, you know, what, $1.5 trillion to help with the economy. That's going to have to come here to help all these schools. And that's not just this school, it's every school across the country. You know, just lastly, the online learning this is not curriculum implementation at its fullest. And I want the community to know that, you know, just because we're going online doesn't mean it's going to be the exact kind of curriculum instruction that they're going to get if they were face-to-face. You cannot replace face-to-face. Kids need face-to-face communication with their teachers. That's the learning process. Being a human being is about relationships, and we're going to do the best we can with online chats and, you know, Google Classroom, and do the best we can during this time. But I want the community to know that this is not a replacement, that this is just temporary, and your kids will go back to school and they're going to get grade A+, you know, education when they come back. Just want to make sure that everybody stays healthy. I'm looking out for our members, but I'm also looking out for the ABC community. And so I applaud that you're going to take the steps to ensure that everybody is safe along the way. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Brad Beach.
Can I comment?
Yes.
After the public comment?
Oh, got it. Oh, that was a public comment. Okay, thank you.
Vice President Mendoza, members of the board, Dr. Sue, thank you for being here today. I knew when I woke up this morning it was going to be a crazy day. My phone started pinging at about 6:45 with parents that were concerned about this. And I walked my kids to school and people were honking in the drop-off lane. It was like craziness everywhere. And then I realized it's Friday the 13th, so maybe that has something to do with it. Anyway, I applaud the board for calling this emergency meeting. I'm very glad that you did that. I also wanted to thank the superintendent for considering the dismissal of our students. I actually didn't know the distinction between closure and dismissal, and that has changed my mind as to what I think we should do. I'm in strong support of a dismissal of our students so the teachers can stay here and get paid, and also our kids that need the free meals can come and get food for lunch. I've spoken to over 100 parents, and the majority of them by far support this idea as well. So I think you're doing something that all or most of the parents want. At the end of the day, I think the most important thing to all of us parents is the safety of our children, and we all know that many grandparents pick up the kids, including mine, and those are the ones that are at the highest risk. I haven't seen Maynard in a few days because he's smart and he's staying home, but he or his wife are usually picking up the kids as well, and that's really the population that we need to protect. One further thing is our PTA at our school was going to go out and buy soap and Kleenex because we have a little shortage there. If the board or anybody needs help with these things, please call upon us, the PTAs, and we're willing to donate to the school. Okay? So thank you very much, and hopefully we dismiss our students starting Monday for a couple weeks and try to fight through this coronavirus together. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad Beach. Appreciate communicating with the parents. Next speaker, we have Serena Yuan.
Good afternoon, the board members of ABC. Good afternoon, Dr. Sue. And good afternoon, everybody who makes the time to come here today. I speak with a heavy heart. I'm very concerned that we as a school district, whatever decision we're going to make, there's a lot of work to be done. We have the highest duty to teach, to educate our communities, our families, our students, the severeness of this uncertainty. What happened yesterday in the stock market is a major indicator that is using the number to tell the nation, the world, this unprecedented emergency. The president is speaking right now. I believe he declared national emergency. We wasted time as a country. We made mistakes in not being able to testing for people who need to be tested, who want to be tested. We have families who need help. People need to figure out how to pay their bills, feed their kids. It's a very complex situation. However, sending kids home under the care of their parents in their capable hands, trusting families know what's best to do for their kids is the right thing to do. But that's not the end of it. That's only the start. Because there are families who need help also. We still need to come up with solutions to take care of the children who need lunch, who need food. I see Tina here. She knows who needs help even more than that. We also need to work with the cities because they are returning students coming from impacted areas. What we do know is this disease is very contagious. As Dr. Mayor, the mayor of Los Angeles, was saying, every one of them are on the front line. We're all the first responders because our action will have impact to every member in the community that this disease will use us as a media to transfer. Many of us have elderly grandparents at home. I am fighting in my own household because my teenage kids don't understand this, because they don't feel it. Fortunately for my household, there's nobody has risks living with me. I'm operating my household as the mother under the assumption if one gets sick, we will all get sick. We need to take this very seriously, and we need to do everything we can to educate, even if we close school, all of our children. Social distancing is the one thing we know that it works. We also need to, all of us here, we need to talk to our city council too. We are late. We look at the model in Korea, South Korea. We look at what happened in Italy. We listen to what the German chancellor is talking about. We see the families, the whole families in China, in Wuhan, got wiped out. This is serious, and I'm very emotional. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Any other public comments? If you have public comments, please give us the cards first.
Can I have a motion to waive the time limits, whatever time limits there are?
Timer? Okay. Yeah.
Can I have a motion to waive it?
Okay. Just 5
Okay.
minutes. Yeah. Thank you. Our speaker is Soli George.
Hello, my name is Soli George, and I am a resident here in Cerritos. I am not a medical profession, but I am a concerned citizen. I am a concerned mother, and I'm a concerned daughter. I have 88-year-old parents that do live in my house, and I'm getting emotional because I know the mortality rate for them is if they get exposed, that they will die. I also have parents that my in-laws are the ones who live with me. I have my parents that just live 5 miles from me. And I know if I get the coronavirus, if my kids get the coronavirus, we will probably survive, but they will not. And we are trying our best with our family to try to minimize the least amount of exposure. But with my daughter, who is a high school student here at Cerritos High School, she has to go to school. She's a senior, and only a couple months away before she has to graduate. Don't want to compromise anything for her to not be able to graduate. And I've started talking to the school about being able to maybe just have her study at home, because it would be very hard for me not to have her expose our parents. Now, they told me, well, keep her away. I can keep her away, but I interact with her, and then I interact with the parents. So there's no way we can do that when we're under the same roof. So I am asking that we follow what everyone else is doing around us. I've heard how the different districts around us are all shutting down, and I don't know why we have not done that yet. Thank you.
Yeah, if I'd like to clarify, we just made a motion to give the superintendent authority to dismiss our schools. If there's any more public comments, cards, if you can please bring them forward so we make sure we give you your time.
Thank you. Dr. Su, for the people who just walked in, do you think you can clarify the decision that we made? The people who just walked in late?
The decision that the board just took prior to the public comments was that we will be closing schools starting Monday, this next Monday, for the next 2 weeks. Thank you.
Next public comment is from Ms. Colombo.
Good afternoon, honorable members. I am actually here. My name is Lucy Colombo. I'm the city clerk for the City of Hawaiian Gardens. I'm also a proud parent of a student in the ABC Unified School District. First of all, I want to appreciate you for holding this meeting and your interest. And on behalf of my city and our city manager, I have authority to extend our appreciation and also our willingness to assist with some of the meals. If the board can provide the meals, we, the city, will assist in distributing those similar to what we do during the summer. So I want to let you know that the City of Hawaiian Gardens will continue the partnership and the collaboration. This is a very important item, a very important matter, and our council is wholeheartedly behind you and our students. And it's a very important issue to us, so we will continue that collaboration. So we are here as a friend of the board, and we appreciate your assistance and diligence. Thank you.
Thank you. That's done with no more public comments.
So at this time, we're going to conclude the meeting and end the meeting. We just want to reiterate that we did give the superintendent the authority to dismiss our schools beginning Monday all the way to March 27th. Just before closing, I want to say thank you once again to our staff, our superintendent, our board president, my colleagues who came together at last minute. I know it's a difficult time. I want to thank our community for coming out and speaking out. It is challenging, and we know that this decision is going to have negative consequences. And just like the City of Hawaiian Gardens said that they're willing to work with us, I hope that we can work with all our cities, all our surrounding districts, any resource that we can provide for our families. I think it's going to be a great opportunity just to see us come together at a time that's really difficult. God bless everyone, and please go to our website and get the latest information. Meeting adjourned.
Wait, actually, I wanted to quickly also explain that, Dr. Rios is a principal at one of the schools, and that's one of the reasons that she's not able to be here. She has responsibility to the students, and so I wanted to make sure it's clear that she's the one who called this meeting, and she's the one who can't be here because she also has the responsibilities for her students. That's it.
Thank you. Can I see?
I forgot about her.
I forgot about you.
I'm so sorry, Dr. Rios, I forgot about you.
That's fine. No, thank you, everyone, for coming together.
Can we have a motion and a second to adjourn?
Can I
So
get a
moved.
motion to adjourn the meeting? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those nay? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you.